Hello all you fellow musicians and gamers out there, this is Clarinetgamer here, and I am here with my 4-year anniversary Q&A video. So, 4 years, wow, it has been a long journey so far guys. Thank you all very much for sticking along with me along the way. It's been amazing so far, this journey on YouTube, and I hope we keep continuing to go on for more years to come along. So the game I'm going to be playing in the 4-year Q&A anniversary is Destruction Derby. Now the reason why I'm playing this game is because, well, you may not know this, but back many years ago on YouTube when I first did commentary, this was the first game that I actually did with commentary for one of my walkthroughs or let's plays back in the day. So I'm just going to do the Reclamation Championship while I do this Q&A video, but yes, that's what I'm doing for this Q&A video. I'm going to be playing this game because I have a lot of fond memories with it. First of all, it was one of the first games I ever covered on YouTube, and it's really good overall. I mean, I think from my point of view it's a really retro title. So anyway, I brought up the questions here for my Q&A video, so I'm going to start off the first race. And fun fact, actually, on the name selection, you can, or you insert your name screen, you can actually put exclamation mark damage exclamation mark, and it'll give you a cheat to be invincible permanently. So it's been a while since I've done a Q&A video, so without further ado I'm just going to answer the questions right now. So I'm going to start off with, yeah, I may have to walk away from the screen when I do this, but that doesn't matter, so it's only for fun this anyway, and I'm just doing this for gaming footage. So the first question is from a YouTube user called Carl Verchetti, I think is what his name is. I might be wrong about that, but he asks, his first question, he only has 2 questions here, and his first question is, do you play games on smartphones? Well, to be honest with you, not really. I don't have that many games. In fact, I don't think I have any games at all on my smartphone at all, actually, if I'm being honest. And his last question is, what phone do you have? Well, honestly, I mean, the phone that I've got is a Sony Ericsson phone, I think. Wait, no, actually, no, not Ericsson. Sony Xperia is what I've got. I keep getting mixed up with those 2 models for some reason. But yeah. So that was Carl Vergetti's question. So if I pronounced your name wrong, I apologise for that. But thank you very much for your questions. It's very appreciated. Then moving on to the next YouTube user as I flip this car over. There we go, some race points. And if you come first, second or third place, like to get race points in this mode, you just need to crash your opponent's car and flip them over. Well, not flip them over in this, but like make them spin in angles like this. So that way you can get some extra points. That's basically how to get points in Wrecking Racing mode for Destruction Derby 1. Destruction Derby 2 was better, was much more improved than this, but this is still a great game to me personally. But moving on to the next YouTube user is HeyDavid17, and he has 6 questions, or well, actually 5, but a last statement for the end. But I'm going to move on to his questions right now, and he basically asks me, as the general's rambling off. Yes, I do know the drivers' names in this game, but anyway, his first question is, I always want to know, since I'm some sort of language freak. So do you speak any other language than English? Well, if I'm being honest, not regularly. I don't really speak any other language, if I'm being honest. I mean, I remember back at school, like many years ago, I took French as a second language, for a subject. One other language I would have liked to have taken in school was German, because I mean, I really would have liked to have learned German at school. I mean, personally, because I mean, I've also got one of my family members is from Germany, like a cousin from Germany, and I really would have liked to have maybe have some conversations with him in German. I mean, that would have been pretty cool. But regardless, I mean, I only speak English, I'm afraid. So sorry to say that. So anyway, that's the first race over. I know that's kind of a boring race because you're just going around in a circle, but I promise you, this next race will be much more exciting. Okay, so where am I in the table here? Right, so I'm 4th place. And I got 18 points. You see, if you come first place, you get 10 more points added on to your point score. So anyway, let's move on to the next race. It's the crossover. Now this is going to be really exciting because it will involve a lot more destruction here. So the second question that he asks is, what made you now almost 4 years ago start a YouTube channel? Well, to be honest, I think what made me start a YouTube channel in the first place was the fact that I saw some people back many years ago doing or covering games on YouTube, and I thought to myself, you know what, since games are covered on YouTube with commentary, that'd be something I'd quite like to do one day. Whoa! Okay, that was completely unexpected. I did not see him coming there. But I got a 360 on him. But anyway, yeah. I saw like YouTubers such as Hypersonic X2, who is still one of my main inspirations to this day. Well, it's such a pain now, like, that he's no longer active on YouTube. From what I've recently heard, he's no longer uploading videos. And it's such a pity because he was one of my, well, he probably still is to this day, one of my main inspirations on YouTube. It's the same with other YouTube users as well, several others I mentioned in the Q&A video some time ago. Like, for example, who are some others? Rich Renegade, and I think another one was Crystal Fisher as well. He was also a main inspiration of mine as well for starting YouTube. But the main reason why I wanted to start YouTube was because I wanted to like share like my gaming knowledge with many different people and get to know different people, which is what I've done to this day. I mean, I managed to get to know quite a lot of different people like up to this day, because I mean, like, I've got so many like international friends now. It's fantastic. I never thought I would actually get to meet people or even know people internationally in my life, but that was probably like a goal that, or maybe I wouldn't necessarily say that was a goal of mine, but it was still a fantastic thing to have in my life, like meet international people, and basically just to, well, have fun really, and just like it's a hobby really. That's really the main reason why. It's another main hobby of mine, and I think I'm about to wreck my car if I'm not careful here, so I didn't need to be very careful here and not wreck my car. Oh crap. Yeah, the commentary here can be quite, I mean, I wouldn't say annoying, but it's phrases that he is. Oh crap. Right, I've nearly wrecked my car. I need to be careful here, or one person's out already. Yeah, 1 hour and 19, so one person has obviously wrecked his or her car already, so I need to be careful here. And I think that's basically it. I mean, that's the main reasons why I wanted to start YouTube, was because I wanted to form a community, and secondly, to meet people internationally, and, well, to have fun really. It's really another hobby of mine. That's basically it there. Okay, I don't know how I'm still alive, but anyway, just moving on to the third question. What is your preferable type of music? Well, okay, right, I've wrecked my car, but anyway, let me answer this question here. So, preferable type of music. Well, personally, I think I've got a lot of different types of music that I really like, but if I'm being honest, I really don't know. That is a fantastic question right there. But I like a lot of genres of music. I mean, I can name a lot off the top of my head, but if I were to pick one that really stands out to me, it's probably video game music. But there is a lot of other genres I do like classical music, jazz music, rock, pop, metal. There's a lot of genres I like. Folk music, like traditional Scottish folk music and Irish traditional music as well. I like those types of genres as well of music. So it's really good. I mean, I like those types of genres personally. Now the fourth question he asks here is, am I wrong or not? Since it feels like, oh, see, it's that's the challenging thing about a Q&A, is keep an eye on the screen here. But anyway, am I wrong or not? Since it feels like you're that kind of person, it doesn't matter if I don't come in first place here, that doesn't travel that much outside the country. If not, if so, why? If not, then where else in the world have you been? So I think, in other words, I think he might be asking, well, if I travel that much outside the country. Well, I don't really travel that much outside of Scotland, if I'm being honest. I mean, like, the last time I was out of Scotland or out of the United Kingdom was probably back 5 years ago, and that was part of a school trip of when I went to Belgium, and that was one school trip that I will certainly not forget. It was a phenomenal trip. But anyway, back to the question at hand. I don't travel that much outside the country because, for one, I don't have enough money personally to travel that much outside of the country. Plus, doing it on my own is quite a challenge. So I really wouldn't know if I I would do it on my own personally. I mean, I quite like to do it like with someone that I know. I mean, to make sure that I'm not alone when traveling, but the main reason is because I'm not that financed well enough to travel outside the country. That's the main reason why. But as far as goes for other places where I've been to around the world, I mean, I think, where else have I been to? I mean, I know I mentioned Belgium before. I think I've also been to, oh yeah, Portugal, and that was like my first, that was the first time I ever went abroad, like outside of the UK, and I was like 12 years old then. It was a family holiday, and the first holiday I ever went on to a different country, so it was a phenomenal experience. And the second country I went to outside of the UK after that holiday, I think it was a year after that, was Tenerife, or in fact no, it was 2 years after that, not 1 year after that. Yeah, it was 2 years after that. And Tenerife was a fantastic experience. I mean, I really enjoyed going there for a holiday with my family again. And that was when I... what was I going to say? Yeah, that was when I was like 14 and 15 back then. So it was great. It's a fantastic experience. I mean, Tenerife and Portugal. If I'm being specific about where exactly to Portugal I went, it was Albufeira. Is how you pronounce it, I think. I mean, I might be wrong about how you pronounce that. The name of the city or town in Portugal, but it was Albufeira was where I went for my holiday, of my first holiday of my family. So that's basically where I've been in the world. I mean, I haven't been to places like America or Australia or anything like that, but you never know, I might be able to go to these countries in the near distant future. You never know. So anyway, that was a question number 4 here. So number 5, or the last question that Hey David 17 asks is, after 4 years on YouTube myself, then I've got in contact with quite an amount of people from the UK. Have you ever met someone then? Well, to be honest, I've never met anyone from YouTube, like personally, face to face. The only closest I've ever gotten is probably Skype video chat. That was it. Yeah, and I just read my cards for this race, but anyway, I've never really met anyone from YouTube. I mean, that's just me being honest here. I mean, I really would like to in the future, if I'm financially stable, and I mean, if I do have enough money to do so. But at the moment, I'm earning my own wage anyway, so you never know. It might happen in the future. So no, I've not met anyone outside of YouTube, but I really would like to in the future, like I said before. So, and the last thing that Hey David 17 says to me is, I wish you best of luck with your work. Thank you very much, David, and thank you very much for your questions as well. And the next YouTube user we move on to is Peneton, and now this track is going to be more exciting as well, because this is a double crossover. So not one but 2 crossovers, so there's more chaos about to be unleashed here on this track. So what was the first question the Penton asks is, what do you love most about making videos? It's a good question, that. I mean, what I like most about making, or what I love most about making videos is the fact that, oh, I'm spinning out of control here. Yeah, I'm spinning out of control there, but yeah, what I like most about making videos is the fact that, well, it's a hobby of mine, like I mentioned before, and I like entertaining people with my videos. I mean, I really do. It's the closest that I'm getting to interact with people as well. Maybe not the closest, but it's another way of interacting with people as well, which is what makes me happy as well. And what I also love about making videos as well is it gives me a new skill in editing, like video editing, because I never really did video editing before, ever. That was until I first started YouTube. Like, I got my first dose of YouTube editing, and it was pretty hard to begin with, but I'm obviously a lot used to it now than I was back then. And I think what else is it I like about making YouTube videos? It's the fact that I get to share what I want to get out, like talk about this on my mind to many YouTube users out there who watch my videos, and to basically get their opinions on to hear on what they want to say about my videos and what games that I play. And it's basically just bringing my personality out as well. That's also what I like about making YouTube videos as well, because for me personally, when actually seeing, like, I mean, like, we're making YouTube videos, the games don't really matter, but the personality matters to me. So it matters about bringing my persona out. Okay, right. Not sure what happened there, right? Let me just go here. Right. Yeah, I'm in a bit of a pickle here, but anyway. So that's why I like most of it. To sum it up, what I like about making YouTube videos is the fact that video editing skills, I get to increase that. It's more all about the experience. I love interacting with people when making YouTube videos, when people watch my videos. I mean, I like the interaction that I get in the comment section from a lot of different YouTubers. And secondly, I like bringing my personality out to people when I watch my videos. So those are the main reasons why I love making YouTube videos. And the fourth one is it's because it's a hobby. I mean, it's something to do for fun, like outside of things that I like to do. I mean, it's outside of things that I do for like a living. Now the second question that Penaton asks is, and this is quite a random question, this: do you like cheese? Well, yes, depending on what type of cheese you're talking about, but I could talk about the types of cheese that I do like if you want. And that is, the main cheese I like is cheddar cheese. That's the main cheese I like. I also quite like Edam cheese as well. I think, what other cheese have I had before? I've never had Gorgonzola before, or blue cheese, or anything like that. I mean, the main types of cheese I've had before are cheddar and Edam. Yeah, I know those are the basic types of cheese there, but those are the two main types of cheese I like. So overall, yes, I do like cheese, but there's other types of cheese I haven't tried yet, and I could be willing to try it before. Maybe I have had blue cheese before. I mean, I've had different types of cheese before, but some of them were maybe a bit too sweet for my tasting, or some of them were a bit, just didn't agree with, or my taste buds didn't really agree with it. But anyway, so yeah, overall, yes, I do like cheese. So, okay, yeah, I've read my card. Anyway, moving on to the next question. What's your favourite music instrument? Now, that's a good question. There's a lot of musical instruments I like, but if I were to pick my favourite one, I would say probably, I don't know actually, probably the saxophone or electric guitar or clarinet. I mean, those are my main favourites. So if I had to say favourite music instruments, like, you see, picking one particular instrument is pretty difficult. And where was I on the table here? Oh, it's quite far down actually. Okay then, so my main favourite music instruments, I mean, I would say are electric guitar. I'm just going to check the lead table here to see if I'm okay, see if I've not lost my lead or anything, but we'll see if yeah, I'm still on the lead, I'm fine. Okay, yeah, I've got nothing to worry about. Right, move on to the next race. City Heat. So my main favourite music instruments are the saxophone, electric guitar, and the clarinet. I mean, if I had to pick one out of those three, I hate to say this, I mean, I don't want to be biased here, but I'd say the clarinet. I'm sorry, I mean, I know that I play the clarinet. I mean, I know that's my main instrument, but if I were to pick one apart from the clarinet, well, if I were to pick besides the clarinet, I would probably be, I think, electric guitar is probably my favourite instrument, or in fact, no, actually saxophone is my favourite instrument besides the clarinet. But overall, my favourite musical instrument is the clarinet, because of the experience I've had with it, plus it's got a lovely tone to it as well, a lovely sound to it as well. And it's a very challenging musical instrument, which is why it's my favourite musical instrument of all time. So moving on to the next question, what we have here is, or the last question that Penaton asks is, what's your most weirdest, funniest or embarrassing moment you've ever experienced in real life? That is a really good question. I really don't know actually. It's really hard to think about. A lot of the questions I've had so far are fantastic. They really are. So, funniest or embarrassing moment? I really don't know actually. I mean, there's probably so many I can name off the top of my head, but if I were to pick one embarrassing moment, I would probably say when, like, sometimes like when hoovering, like when vacuuming or hoovering like my room. One day when I was hoovering my room, this is quite a funny moment. This, I didn't realise I was too close to my my clothesline, like where my washing was, like hanging up to dry. But luckily it was dry anyway when I was, when I was vacuuming, and I accidentally nearly hoovered up or vacuumed up one of my socks. So that was quite an embarrassing moment. I think another embarrassing moment I came across today when vacuuming was when I... what was it that happened? Oh yeah, when I was near my bin, like I have a bin in my room, and I've got like a bin bag over it, and I accidentally nearly hoovered up the bin bag, and I was like, oh no. So that was quite embarrassing. That, I'm not sure what else. I mean, a funny moment in my life that's ever happened to me, the funniest moment in my life. Again, I really don't know actually. The funniest moment in my life? It's probably... I don't know actually. It's really hard to come up with an answer to this. The funniest moment. Sometimes I say quite a lot of random stuff. I mean, because of who I am personally, I say quite a lot of random things. And sometimes whatever comes to my mind is quite funny. I mean, the funniest moment is probably like when I do a lot of puns. And also, sometimes when I wear something new, like say for example, like I'm not usually one that buys quite a lot of clothes, I will admit that, but when I bought new trousers on Friday and I wore them at work on Saturday, I had this thought in my mind when I was working that, like, I felt like my socks were pulled up quite high, right? And so I took a look, right? I was like, after I finished my work shift, I took a look at my socks just to make sure that I actually wasn't imagining things, and my socks actually weren't pulled up. It was actually my trousers, and I thought, wait, why do I have this feeling that my trousers actually feel like my socks? I'm like, wait, what? It's like my trousers are my socks. Oh man, but yeah, that was quite a funny moment there. Embarrassing moment or the weirdest moment in my life? I don't know actually. I mean, it's really hard to say actually. In the weirdest moment in my life, I do talk to myself quite a lot, which is, I mean, for some people it can be quite weird, but for who I am personally, I do talk to myself quite a lot, which can help me out quite a lot because it helps me keep focused on certain tasks at hand. And I mean, I know I'm talking about a lot about who I am personally when I talk about this in my video, but yeah, I do talk to myself quite a lot, which can be quite weird to some people, but for me personally, it helps me focus quite a lot, especially like when I'm doing tasks of any kind. I mean, it can be like maybe something like work, or even like, well, I don't talk to myself at work obviously, but like I think to myself and I just keep myself right and think and have a voice in my head. But I wouldn't say, I mean, talk to myself. I mean, that's the only other weird thing I would say that that happened to me in real life. I mean, that's pretty much it actually. I mean, Pentaton, thank you very much for your fantastic questions. They were brilliant. Thank you very much for your questions, and we shall move on to the next YouTube user, which is Crumbling Cookie. And the first question he asks is this: if you could only play one game forever, what would it be? Good question, that. If I were to pick one game to play forever, what would it be? Would it be this one that I'm playing right now? Probably not. I'd probably get bored easily of it. I would say Crash Bandicoot 2. And the reason why I say Crash Bandicoot 2 is because, I mean, I could play that over and over again and probably not get bored of it. Because of the challenge that it has, that it contains. That's just what I think personally. I mean, when I first played Crash Bandicoot 2, it had a real challenge to it because of its death routes and the bonus rounds as well. So I would say Crash Bandicoot 2, or another alternative could be Crash Bash. And the reason why I say that is because it's a very fun game. Plus, I could still try and get 200% on the adventure mode, which I've never done before in my life, which could be achieved if I played it for the rest of my life. So that's an honest answer about that. So that was a good question, that one. If I could play one game forever, what would it be? The next question the Crumbly Cookie asks is, what's the first game you have ever played? The first game I've ever played in my life was back when I was in primary school. When I was back in primary 1, I think. I was like 5 years old. The first game I ever played was a PC game, believe it or not. And it was The Logical Journey of the Zoombinis. Now, many of you may remember I actually covered that game on my channel as part of my 500 subscriber special. That was the first game I ever played in my childhood. Way before Crash Bandicoot. The first time I probably played Crash Bandicoot was probably when I was 8 years old, I think. But the first game I ever played was when I was 5 years old. And that was The Logical Journey of the Zoombinis. And the fun fact actually as well, see, when I was just a baby, right? Now you may be thinking, how on earth can you remember back to when you were a baby? Well, that's another part of who I am. Sometimes I have a great memory span. I have like so many great memories. And I think back when I was just a baby, right, when my brother used to own the Sega Mega Drive, or the Sega CD, I'm pretty sure it was the Sega CD. When he owned that, I remember first hearing or seeing the boot up screen for the Sega CD, and this was the European one, keep in mind. And I first heard the music for it and I was like, wow, what is that music? It sounds fantastic. So I looked it up on YouTube many years later and I was like, that's what I saw when I was a baby. I know, I just thought I'd bring that up because I mean it's something, a first hand or a first gaming thing I've ever seen in my life. But to sum up what the game I played in my life, or the first game I ever played in my life, it was The Logical Journey of the Zoombinis. That was the first game I ever played. So, oh, yeah, I think the music cut off there. Yeah, something is wrong with it. Yeah, okay, right. I did pretty well. I mean, I got 78 points on the bowl there. So, the third question that Crumbling Cookie asks is, how old were you when you first started playing the clarinet? Well, you're talking, this was back in, again, primary school, back in primary 4 or 5, or thereabouts. I was 9 years old when I first started playing the clarinet, so 13 years of experience was what I had when playing the clarinet, so it's quite a lot of years of experience that I picked up there, which is fantastic. And I think I'm promoted. Yes, I am, and I've got 252 points. A great amount of points. Right, let's move on to the next season. While we move on to the next question. So, I was 9 years old when I first started playing the clarinet. So that covers that question. The last question the Crumbling Cookie asks is, what is your favourite video that you have made? Again, a really good question here. I'm getting a lot of great questions here in this Q&A session. This will probably require a bit of thinking here about my favourite video I ever made was probably when I did the Sonic.exe videos, or the Five Nights at Freddy's videos, or probably some Crash Bandicoot videos. And also, favorite video, probably another favourite video I made was probably when I collaborated with different YouTubers as well. Like, when doing the interviews, finding out a bit more about the YouTubers themselves, and also the speedrunning with them for fun. Or doing fail runs with them as well. And the Let's Play Until I Fail episodes are also really good as well. Plus, a new series that is already up on my channel right now by the time this is uploaded. The Blindfold Gaming videos. Though that's going to be a favourite of mine as well in the future as well. So I'm really looking forward to that in the future. So if I were to pick one out of all these, I would say collaborating with other YouTubers in terms of the interviews and the... See, I'm wanting to get points on... See, if you hit the driver in first place here, you can get double points, which is actually really good. It's very handy actually in this mode. There we go. Now originally I would get 4 points there, but that obviously doubled to 8, so for flipping them in a 180 degree angle. Sorry. So my favourite type of video is probably when I was collaborating with other YouTubers and the types of videos I mentioned. So thank you very much, Crumbling Cookie, for your suggestions, or for not suggestions. What am I saying? For your questions. And a shout out goes to all those who have submitted questions. But for those who haven't submitted questions, don't worry. There's always a chance for a next Q&A video that I'll make in the future. So that's pretty much that for Come On Cookie. Thank you very much. And the next question that we have is from a YouTube user called, he used to be called Incompetent Gamer, but he's called Scotland Forever, and he has 2 questions here. The first question is, have you ever played the Sly games? No, I haven't. I haven't actually ever played the Sly Cooper games, and I really would like to, and I think I would like those games. The reason why I say that is because, well, it's a platforming game first of all, and I like my platforming games, plus it requires stealth as well, and I quite like Metal Gear Solid, so I don't see why I wouldn't like Sly Cooper, so I'm willing to give those games a try. So I'm assuming that there is an HD collection of the Sly Cooper games. I'm pretty sure there is, if I remember correctly. And if there is, I might actually buy it. Excuse me, actually, I think after this race is over I'm going to get myself a drink of water because I think my voice is starting to go here. So yeah, I think I might actually get the Sly Cooper games. So thank you very much for that question. And the last question that he asks is, I think is a he. I'm not entirely sure. The last question that Scotland Forever asks is, how many countries have you been to and can you name them? Well, I actually technically did answer that question, but I can always reiterate it if you want. The previous countries that I've been to before are, well, within the United Kingdom I've been to, well, Darlington is a town that I've been to because I have an aunt, uncle and cousins there in Darlington. And I've also been to Belgium as well, and as part of that school trip I've been on to for music, so that was also really good. And then Tenerife and Portugal were the other countries I went to as well. So I did answer that question earlier, but I just thought I would reiterate it in case anybody missed it. So thank you very much, Scotland Forever, for your questions. A shout out goes to you. Thank you very much. Now the next YouTube user is Skullcrusher, aka Zombie Hunter's Comeback, and he has a lot of questions for me. So we'll start off with the first question is, what are your plans for future projects and for next year? Well, future projects, I think I already did mention before. Well, the Blindfold Gaming I was about to say Blindfold Gaming Challenge. The Blindfold Gaming series will be oh, I'm losing my words. I think the Blindfold Gaming Challenge will be up on Tuesdays. It'll always be up on Tuesdays. That'll take the place of the PS1 demos. If I were to say what other games that I'd like to play, I mean for other Let's Plays, there are some games I did back way, like a long time ago, like hundreds of videos ago, that I'm thinking about restarting. For example, the Resistance Fall of Man game for PS3, I'm thinking about restarting that Let's Play in much better quality. And secondly, the Uncharted games as well. I'd quite like to restart that as well. And secondly, the Last of Us series, I know I did do a Let's Play that. I've yet to resume that, and I think I might do a Let's Play of that. There are many games that I want to Let's Play in the future that I have on my mind, like some retro games, and there's quite a lot of new games as well that I like to Let's Play as well. Well, I wouldn't say new games, but well, modernish games that I like to Let's Play in the future, which you'll find out in the future. I mean, I can't really name them all off the top of my head, but I did mention some, like Resistance Fall of Man, the Uncharted series, and The Last of Us are some of those games. And the next question that, or in fact, for next year, I think I kind of covered next year actually as well. For the next question that he asks is, oh, as I get out of this sticky situation. Okay, right. Is, will you be doing more collaborations in the future with other YouTubers and or friends? If so, do you have any ideas about it? Well, I think personally I'm going to keep up the interviews with the YouTubers, and keep up the fail running and speedruns with the different YouTubers as well, because I think they're a lot of fun, those episodes. So that's my future plans there for well, collaborations. So that's that. I mean, that's my future ideas for collaborations. Yeah, sorry if I'm delaying and talking, but it's really hard to do a Q&A live. I mean, I remember doing this before last year with my PS1 Racing demo special for my 2-year anniversary Q&A. This is no different. But the next question is as follows. Will you be making a 4-year anniversary montage video? Well, to be honest, I'm thinking maybe not for 4 years, but as you may very well know, I'm coming up to 1,000 videos just shortly, and for that I'm probably going to do a montage video of well, Let's Plays that I've done before in the past. Some that have been okay, some that have been great, some that have been fantastic, and just do like a highlight reel for 1,000 videos. So that's my plan for a montage video, just like a highlight reel of all the best moments so far of my YouTube career, so to speak. So that's my plan for that montage. The fourth question is, are you getting a PS4? If so, which game will it be and why? Well, to answer your question, I already do have a PlayStation 4. I only have one game, which is Knack. Now, as far as goes for games I get in the future on the PS4, yes, I want to get more games for the PS4, I really do. And there's some games now, I did mention the Star Wars Battlefront before, how I said, oh, I'm not going to get that game because there's no single player campaign. I will admit, I did reflect on my reactions back then, and I was overreacting a ton. So to be honest with you, I'm going to get it for the multiplayer, because why not? Because DICE have put in so much effort into this multiplayer that it looks fantastic, and I think it would be wrong of me to pass out on that because there's no single player campaign. I mean, I just think that's a really bad judgment call that I made there back then. So me personally, I think I'm going to get Star Wars Battlefront for the online multiplayer and get PlayStation Plus in the process as well, and get some HD collections as well. For example, like the Uncharted collection might be one good collection I might get, and I'm going to see if I can work my way around to, well, actually recording the footage, like PS4 footage, because I don't have an HD PVR2 which has an HDMI port. I don't have that, and we'll see in the future if I can invest in one once I have a proper setup and proper space. But for now, I'm going to use the share button and just share every 15 minutes of play, like, or gameplay that I have, and add commentary to it, just like what I did with Knack for Let's Play Until I Fail episode 18, and just add my thoughts to the game as I go along. Like, it's a good bit of a mix-up that I do there as well, like post commentary and live commentary I would do in the process there as well. And the Mega Man collection as well, I'm going to get for the PS4 as well, because I mean, I've never played the Mega Man games before, and I think getting that on the PS4 would be a fantastic opportunity. And another game I'd like to get as well in the future is The Last Guardian, because it looks like a fantastic game. I mean, I really would like to get it when it comes out. I think another game, what other game would I like to get as well? I think that's all I can name off the top of my head at the moment, but I think that's it for the PS4 games. I know it's not really a huge amount, but I mean, Batman Arkham Knight I think is another game as well, and Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes and The Phantom Pain as well. And also Dying Light as well, to collaborate with YouTubers again on that. So I think what I do, I mean, I could work my way around this, is I could use my share button to like put it onto my PS3 hard drive, and I could just save the video to like a USB stick or a hard drive, and then upload that to my computer, and that way the footage will be saved. I don't know, I mean, that's just the experimental thinking that I'm doing right there, but that's something I can fully think about, but that's off the top of my mind. So, moving on to the next question, how are the clarinet lessons going so far? They're going pretty well. As many of you may know, I am actually teaching clarinet right now. That is what I'm planning to do for a living, alongside other future plans that I might have in mind. For example, perhaps starting up well, maybe going into orchestras, for example. That could be something that I'd quite like to do in the future. But for the moment, I mean, the clarinet lessons are going really well. I think they are, and it's really rewarding doing it for a living as well, because you get to like meet up with new people, get to like show them the knowledge of, like, of how much you've known about the clarinet so far, or how much I've known about the clarinet so far, and basically just, I mean, get along well with them, and just give them encouragement and just be positive with them. I mean, it's really rewarding. That's, I mean, what I would say. So yeah, I would say I'm really enjoying the clarinet lessons so far. So thank you very much, Skull Crusher, for your question on that. And the next question he asks is, yeah, and he's got a lot here. What Let's Play video did you like making the most? Well, if I were to say what Let's Play I liked making the most, that's a really good question, actually. There's a lot of games I really liked doing, but if I were to pick one, I would say the first Five Nights at Freddy's game, because it was my first proper like scary game that I was doing there. And if I were to pick one apart from a scary game, I would say probably what would I say? We're talking back years ago. I would probably say Crash Bash. I know my like commentary was really bad back then. Like the audio was distorted and everything. It was my first time ever using like a mic like this, like I'm speaking into right now. But of course, I've improved along the way, like with that. But to be honest, I mean, I think the what was I going to say? I mean, the Crash Bash, I would say, has been my favourite Let's Play because of all the cuts that I've had to do, like all the failures that I suffered in, like the battles that I did, like on battle mode. I mean, they're always fun to do. So I would say Crash Bash overall has probably been my favourite project so far on my channel. And there's probably going to be a lot of other favourites on my channel as well off the top of my head, but if I were to pick one, I would say Crash Bash. So that's that question. Moving on to the next one. He asks, what games didn't you like continuing and why, or what games did you not continue and why? Well, I don't know really. I really don't know if I have an answer for that, because I mean, I know that there are some projects on my channel that are on the sidelines at the moment, but that's because I probably moved on to other projects and forgot about them. But I will get around to doing those other projects as well. I mean, like the ones I mentioned, like Resistance, The Last of Us, Uncharted, all those games. But I mean, I think the reason why I probably didn't continue them was because I was excited to move on to other projects. Not saying I didn't like those games, but probably because I was delving right into just new things, new ideas, new everything really, just something new all the time for my channel. That's probably why I didn't continue those games. But it's not to say that I rage quit them. It's not that at all. So that's that. I think that's that question. I mean, hopefully that answer was proper. I mean, I apologise if it isn't, but it's just, I mean, that is quite a good question there. I mean, it's just coming up with an answer that is pretty difficult. So the next question that he asks is, what's your favourite game that you have played besides the awesome Crash Bandicoot series of the 90s? Very true that. But my favourite game that I've played, like on the PS1, I would say Destruction Derbies 1 and 2 are my favourite PS1 games besides the Crash Bandicoot games. And my favourite game on the PS3 is probably The Last of Us. That's another favourite of mine on the PS3, as well as Bioshock Infinite, which is something recent that I completed. So I like Bioshock Infinite as well. But if I were to pick one, I would say on the PS1, since I'm quite a retro gamer, it would be this game that I'm playing right now, Destruction Derby. The next game, or sorry, not the next game. The next question that Skull Crusher asks is this: what game or games did you rage quit? The only game I've ever rage quitted was probably I Want to Be the Bossy, because it was ridiculously hard. It really was. I Want to Be the Guy was a great challenge, even though it was really difficult at times. I Want to Be the Bossy was just ridiculous. It was way over the top in terms of its difficulty level. That's the reason why I rage quit it, because it was really bad. I mean, like, I will admit, yes, I am quite bad at the game itself, but the game itself is pretty... It's not that great because of the difficulty level in that game. It is just just really put me off because of the difficulty level of some aspects of the game, especially Mega Man. I'm still struggling on that. I mean, I technically haven't rage quit yet. I'm still coming back to it from time to time to try and beat Mega Man, but I'm still struggling with that game. So that's the only game I've ever rage quit, if I'm being honest. So moving on to the next question we have. Are you going to be doing more Clarinet covers on your second channel? Yes, I will be doing more Clarinet covers on my second channel. It's just I've not really gotten around to doing it yet, but I will do that. Probably, hopefully, if I have enough time this week, I might do some more Clarinet covers. But I think I have some on the list that I quite like to do or go through and practice and prepare for them. I have to say actually as well, my second channel is growing quite a bit. I've got, at the moment as of this video, 41 subscribers on my Clarinet channel. I mean, I actually never thought I would get that far, like in terms of Clarinet covers, but it seems to me that quite a lot of people like the Clarinet covers that I'm doing, so I'm thank you very much for that, guys. I mean, it's really appreciated. And the next question that Skullcrusher asks is, what do you think of the Walking Dead series so far? Well, the Walking Dead is a great series. It's a fantastic horror drama series. I mean, it's been great so far watching it. I mean, I've watched all the way up to the end of Season 5 so far, and I'm just currently waiting on Season 6 arriving, which should be in about a few weeks' time, actually. I like it. I mean, it's got its scary moments, but honestly, I focus more on like the storytelling and the character development of that show, rather than like the zombies themselves and like the horror of the show. I will admit that show did give me like some jump scares from time to time, but I got used to them after a while. That was probably early in the show when the jump scares happened, but the more I watched the show, the more I was used to the zombies coming out of nowhere. So I like The Walking Dead. I mean, it's fantastic because of the character development and the plot of the story. I mean, it goes along with the, well, it doesn't technically fully go along with, but it goes along with the graphic novels of The Walking Dead, but it doesn't entirely always follow the plot line of the graphic novels, which is what I like, because I've never read the graphic novels before, so every time I watch a new episode, I don't know what to expect. So I'm happy that they chose not to go along with fully with the plot of the graphic novels. So that's my opinion right there on The Walking Dead. The next question is, are you going to watch the new Deadpool movie in 2016? Yes, definitely, without a doubt, I am going to be watching the new Deadpool movie next year. Because I've seen the trailer and it looks phenomenal, and it's so funny already. I can already tell from the trailer that it's going to be a hilarious film. So I'm definitely going to see that film next year, without a doubt. So the next question that Skullcrusher asks is, are you going to be doing more show-offs of your video games? Depending if now I'm not sure exactly what you mean by show-off. If you mean show-off by actually physically showing off the box itself of the games or the collection, or you mean like a monthly collection update, it really depends on what I get at the end of the month. But normally I don't really buy games all that much, I mean regularly. I mean that's just me personally. I mean, maybe I should treat myself every once in a while. Now that I'm actually earning my own wage, maybe I could possibly treat myself maybe once in a while to maybe some games or movies, and maybe just show them off in my collection. If that's what you mean, then yes, I could do that once I get more content or more games, either online or a physical copy of any games. So that answers that question. And the last question that Skullcrusher asks is this: when would you be financed enough to do a real life meetup? But yeah, now this was a joke. Now he did actually say to me that this question was meant to be a joke, but you know what? I might as well play along with the joke and just answer it. You never know. If I win the lottery, then I'll be financed enough. When I win the lottery, then I'll be financed enough, which is never going to happen. But nah, I don't know honestly when I'll be financed enough, but that was just a joke, that question. So I'm not going to fully answer that. But thank you very much, Skullcrusher, for your questions. I mean, there was certainly a lot of questions, but that's not a major complaint right there. I mean, it's not. I mean, I really appreciate the questions that you've that you got from me. And a shout out goes to you for your questions. So now moving on to the next YouTube user as we move up here. And we've got 2 more YouTube users to go through actually, and the second last YouTube user is Rich Renegade. And the first question he asks is, have you seen Breaking Bad? And if so, what is your opinion on the series? Well, without spoiling anything too much, Breaking Bad is the best TV show I have ever seen, period. And the reason why I say that is because it has got a fantastic story that progresses very nicely. The characters are extraordinary, they're extremely memorable, especially the main character of this series, Walter White. He's a fantastic character, he's a very complex character from my point of view, but without spoiling anything too much, I like Breaking Bad, it's fantastic. So, it's brilliant. I mean, it's got a lot of fantastic characters. I mean, like I said, the story is fantastic, it goes along very nicely, there's never any plot holes or anything like that, and that's what I will say. I mean, the music is brilliant in Breaking Bad as well. And the theme of the show is just brilliant as well, especially its dramatic scenes and everything like that. So, yeah, Breaking Bad is phenomenal. That's my opinion on the series, due to the points I stated there for backup. The character development, the ongoing story that doesn't have any plot holes. And that's pretty much it for Breaking Bad. I mean, without spoiling anything too much, that's it. That's my opinion on Breaking Bad. The second question that Rich Renegade asks is this: would you do more experimental game videos? For example, playing a genre that you wouldn't normally play. It's possible. I mean, I'm trying to think of game genres I haven't really played regularly. I mean, I really don't know actually. I mean, what game genres have I not played regularly? Maybe RPGs. I mean, that's probably the one genre that I haven't really played regularly, so that could be one. That could be, like, that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. Like RPGs, like Final Fantasy, like the Final Fantasy series, Kingdom Hearts, and what else? I mean, like the Elder Scrolls as well. Like, I mean, Oblivion. I mean, that could be something. I mean, that could be a good idea for a new series actually. I mean, I'll keep it in mind. So that was a Rich Renegade's second question. The third question that he asks is, okay, I thought the camera was being funny there on the game. What animes, if any, have you watched? And would you consider watching more? And yes, on the game, it only goes up to 99 points, so no matter what now, I could just wreck my car and just get the race over and done with. But apparently there is someone else on the track that I've yet to wreck. But going on with the question itself, well, I haven't really seen any animes, if I'm being honest. I mean, I've never seen any. So, if I were to say if I were to consider watching animes, possibly. I mean, you never know. I mean, I could watch animes in the future and see what I think. Just give it a try. And if I like it, I'll continue to watch more. If I don't like it, then I don't like it. It's as simple as that. But I could watch more animes and see what I think of them. And the last question the Rich Renegade asks is, what would you most like to see in PlayStation's 2015 event? Only, I think at least, 3 games. The first of all, which is, and this is probably going to be revealed this, God of War 4 for the PS4. And the second game is a sequel to PlayStation All-Stars. Now, I know that this is probably, not likely to happen, but I really would love to see a sequel to PlayStation All-Stars. And the last one, and I'll just get this obvious one out of the way. A new Crash Bandicoot game, because you never know. Activision are now, well, they're fully cooperated with Sony, so you never know. They might actually make a Crash Bandicoot game in the background without, like, us, like, while keeping it a secret from us. You never know. It might happen. I'm still keeping my hope. I mean, I'm not going to get my hopes up like that much for a new Crash game, but I'm still hoping deep down inside that there will be another one. But I really would like to see a sequel to PlayStation All-Stars. That's what I'd like to see most, because the first game had a lot of potential, but the character roster was not that great, if I'm being honest. So hopefully with the second game, if they do make one, they'll have a better character roster. And hopefully, I mean, some really great stages as well. But you never know, they could have a Destruction Derby stage like this. Or something like a bit more exciting than this. So that's my responses to Rich Renegade's questions. In fact, Rich Renegade, if you're watching this, I might actually ask you the same thing. What would you like to see at PlayStation's 2015 event? Just to ask you that question. So, a shout out goes to you, Rich Renegade, for your questions. Thank you very much for your questions. And the last YouTube user that we move on to is 251GNR. The first question that he asks is, are you watching some kind of sport on TV? And if you are watching sports, then what kind of sports are you watching? Well, I'll be honest, I mean, I did watch wrestling before, like WWE, but not anymore. And I'm not going to go into details of why I don't watch anymore, because that's just going to take a long time to get that off my chest. So I'm not going to explain why. So, I used to watch wrestling, but I don't really watch sport that much on TV. So, sorry about that, I mean, if I didn't really answer your question properly, but if I were to pick one that I did watch before, that was wrestling, and I do watch football sometimes, and that's probably the World Cup from time to time. And sometimes the Olympics. Probably the bigger sporting events is what I watch on TV. I don't really watch football that regularly. I mean, like, support my local team, but I just don't have that much interest in watching football apart from the World Cup. That's really when it's interesting for me. So, the next question that 251GNR asks is, do you know some Finnish athletes? Unfortunately, I don't know any Finnish athletes. Sorry. So, the third question that he asks is, same with any music, any Finnish artists or bands that you know of? No, not really technically, apart from that video that you put in one of your videos. I think it was it might have been like a heavy metal band or a rock band that you might have shown me before on one of your videos that you put up on your channel, but that's the only one I've heard of. Apart from that, no, I don't think I've heard of any other Finnish bands or artists. Just to be honest with you, I mean, I haven't really heard of any other Finnish bands or artists. The fourth question that he asks is, are you going to do more Crash games or Spyro games in the future? Yes, I will be. Now, as you may know, I am doing Crash Nitro Kart on my channel as a Let's Play. After that's finished, I did say this in my Crash Nitro Kart Let's Play, but I'll just repeat it here, just for a good measure. I will be doing Crash Nitro Kart, sorry, I'm not repeating the Let's Play, what am I talking about? I will be doing Crash Twinsanity as the next Let's Play after Crash Nitro Kart. And Spyro games, yes, I will be doing more Spyro games, but I'll need to play through the Spyro games first, because I do have Spyros 2 and 3 now on my PlayStation 3 hard drive, but I haven't played them yet. So I'm going to play them at some point and just get to know them quite a bit better, just to become familiar with them before I do an actual Let's Play of them. And the fifth question he asks is, what should I do for my September gameplay? Well, I'm not sure actually. Maybe you could do perhaps maybe a compilation of Crash games for September. Like, instead of just one Crash game, you can maybe compilate all of your favourite moments of your Crash games all together, all in one video. Like, for example, like ranging from Crash 1 to Mind Over Mutant, like in different parts. So say for example, you could have one part that could be, well, the Crash 1 PS1 era, or the Crash PS1 era. You could have your favourite levels or tracks and mini games from the stages. And the second one for PS2, similar thing. Like, you could have your favourite levels from like Rapid Cortex Races, from Nitro Kart, Twinsanity. If you have all those games, I mean, which I think you do, then you could do a compilation of that, like in 2 parts, for your September gameplay. Or similar with Spyro as well, maybe just your favourite moments from Spyro or any game that you have, just your favourite moments. I mean, if you understand. If you don't understand, then I could always clarify that in the comment if you when you comment on this video saying that you might not fully understand what I just said, then I'll clarify that for you in the comment just so you can fully understand. But it's just a suggestion for your September gameplay. And the final question here that he asks is, what do you think of my channels? Well, I think your channels are really great. I mean, it covers quite a variety of Crash and Spyro content, which is why I like a lot about your channels. And like the type of videos that you have on the original 251G on our channel, like the voting series is really good because I mean it's a great way of interacting with fans. And your 251G on our channel is a great opportunity to actually re-upload Let's Plays before, like remastered in better quality. One question that I have for you is, in the future, if possible, will you be able to upload your videos in high definition at some point in the future? I mean, I know with your current setup you may not be able to do that, but in the future, if possible, are you able to upload in HD? Just an interesting question, just thought I would ask that to you, 251GNR. So, thank you very much for your questions, and the shout out goes to you as well. I'll put links to the channels as well in the description as well, for those who are interested in checking the channels out, because they are great YouTubers. Like a lot of the people that have asked me the questions. I mean, not only that, but the people who have inspired me in the past and the people who I've collaborated with in the past, like for speedrunning tournaments, speedrun videos, fail run videos, interviews. Every video that I've done with other YouTuber, they have been just fantastic. So I thank you all very much for that. And I'll just finish this race as well. So Destruction Derby, I mean, I'll talk about the game itself before I end this Q&A video off. It's a great game. I mean, it may not be an exciting game because of the way the gameplay is. I mean, Destruction Derby 2's gameplay is a lot more exciting, I will admit that. And I'm surprised I didn't get many points in that, well, I'm losing my words again. But Destruction Derby is a fantastic game. I mean, it was one of the first PlayStation games that ever came out, actually, in 1995. Okay, so I'm getting quite a lot of points already, like on my last lap, which is quite good. So that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, that's this race over, and that is this Q&A video over. So thank you all very much for watching this video. Thank you to all the YouTube users who sent me questions, and thank you all very much for 4 years. It's been a fantastic journey so far. Here's to another 4 years, hopefully, in the future. And this has been quite a long Q&A video. That's been like an hour, actually. So I spent a long time answering those questions in great detail. So thank you all very much for watching, guys. This has been Clarinetgamer here. Please feel free to like if you enjoyed, comment down below with your thoughts, and also please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well for more upcoming content. Till then, guys, this is Clarinetgamer here signing off. Have a great day, and I shall speak to you later. Till then, goodbye.